What is up, bitches? We are back. Well, at least two of us. KG, we don't know where the hell he hanging out at. He probably out there in Neverland, playing around, twiddling dingleberries of Peter Pan. Maybe he'll come back. Who knows? But at this moment, you got the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez, in a satellite location. You got the Nubian Sumo out there flaring up. And out of respect for somebody that made me want to do some exercise, made sure that I did my prayers, made sure that I took my Flintstone vitamins in celebration of the career of the Immortal Hulk Hogan. I brought back the real American hose at the intro just for the Nubian Sumo. Hose up. Let's go. Sumo, what is up?
You didn't do that for me. You definitely didn't do that for me.
What? What are you talking about?
Bringing back them scallywags.
Come on, man. Real American hose. You saw it. She was dancing hard for the Immortal Hulk Hogan.
Baby lot lizard you got going on.
Hey, she was getting it in. I should bring it up, bring her back. You want to see it the second time? She was getting that thing in. Like, work it, girl. Work it. If I could have remixed, it'd be like, I am a real American. And then she would be doing a little dance. You know, come on now.
Hogan's spirit is waiting on his tribute. He better be waiting on some ice water.
See, there you go. Don't be a hater. We just started the show. We got Sam up here ready to turn up and turn out. Believe it or not, we got the boss on the show. Sorry. We're going to get a couple motherfuckers in tonight and some bitches. Why not? I mean, you know, we want to celebrate the Immortal Hulk Hogan. And then, you know, we also want to imbibe the spirit of the Iron Sheik. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. You know, all those things happen all at the same time. So we want to pay tribute to that. And Roddy Piper and Blackface, you know, that generation. I don't know about the end of wrestling, Sam, but that truthfully may be the end of that generation of wrestling. The closest one, I would say, that cuts up to the edge of Hulk Hogan at this point. Well, it's kind of, I don't know. I guess we still have the $1 Million Man. Who else do we have that's still close enough to, and I'm talking rock and wrestling. We got $1 Million Man. Who else is still alive?
You mean alive, but not necessarily wrestling?
Yeah, just alive. Because, you know, Sam's comment, that was the end of wrestling, quote unquote.
Okay, so let's think back to the first WrestleMania. Who is still alive from the first WrestleMania?
Well, are we counting Vince?
We got to count Vince if you want something. If you want to get a number,
I guess technically we have Vince.
Yeah, we have Vince. Greg Valentine.
Valentine's still alive.
Valentine's still alive.
I'll be damned.
Ricky Steamboat.
Steamboat's still alive.
Yes, he is.
I'll be damned. Where's he been at?
I mean, he wasn't a wrestler, but Mr. T is still alive. He was in the first WrestleMania.
Did we lose Tito Santana? We still got Chico?
Tito Santana was still in the first one.
Well, we know about Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. I don't know if he was in the first WrestleMania, but he's in that era.
Still that era.
That era. Let's see. Mike Rotunda, Barry Windham, USA Express was there.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Who else? Leilani Kai.
Yeah.
An appearance recently.
Yeah.
Wendy Richter is still alive.
She is?
Yes, she is.
Where?
That's why Tony Storm keeps calling her out, because she's still alive.
I thought she died.
No, Wendy Richter actually responds to every time she says something. Tony Storm says something about her.
I thought that was the rub, because she would keep calling her out. I'm like, y'all know Wendy Richter dead? Wow. No. I did not realize she was still alive. So that means that has to be a payoff. Tony Khan has to have her show up just to smack Tony Storm. But the problem is Tony Storm has to be the heel in order for that to work. You can't smack the babyface.
Yes, you can.
When was the last time you saw a baby face get smacked because they was calling somebody out as a heel?
On a one-off. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Randy Richter comes in on a payday. Says, I've been hearing that you talking stuff about me. You know I'm at the age where I will never get in the ring with you, but I do have this for you. And gives her a dry one.
So she got to pull a Birdman and put some respect on my name?
Yeah.
Then at that point,
she got to have Who told you that it was open mic night, bitch?
Bitch, yep. Well, then she got to have Alundra Blaze, Medusa backing her up. Because technically she wanted to wrestle at Evolution 2 anyway.
Could be. You know, it could happen. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Sam on a whole nother level. He jumped into the Marvel thing right there. Well, Sam, if you're talking about some superheroes, answer this question. Did you see the Superman movie? And was it good? I haven't seen it yet. You know, I got my reservations. But it took me a while to, decide to go see Brandon Routh when he was Superman. And then I was really pissed that they didn't continue with him because he was the closest looking to Christopher Reeve that we'll ever get. But then I also had my reservations with America's Superman, Henry Cavill. And then, well, shoot, as soon as I saw the beginning of the movie, I'm like, well, that's Superman right there. And then they fucked that up. But at least we got Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So if anybody watching, that wants to comment in and let us know if you've seen Superman, let me know. That'll determine if I'm going to watch it in theaters or if the Nubian Sumo has one of them illegal websites that, he be dating them lot lizards for. And then, we can watch it that way. Because, he's always into the illegal underground stuff. Those are probably some underground damn cigars you're smoking. Where'd you get them from?
I am.
You got them from a Gulf of America? Did you get them from a Gulf of America?
I got them from the Gulf of Mexico. But anyway, don't get no lawsuit against you now.
From which? Who am I getting sued from?
You getting a little libus there.
It's BJ's fault. He said go ahead and just let it loose. I'm like, all right. If you want to go down in the DMs and all that stuff, I can let it loose. We can put somebody out tonight.
Yeah, don't be like your girl Raka Khan. She back in jail, right?
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, really? That is a good question, Sam. But it's even worse. If there's 50 different Supermen, there's at least 100,000 goddamn Batman. Uh-oh. See? I told you. What'd I tell you? BJ said, fuck that shit. Let it go up. We ain't no Clear Channel. God damn it. See? That's all your fault. Don't be going there. Don't be letting it loose. It's been 3 weeks. I got some pent-up frustrations. Fuck that shit.
Oh, if we do what we talk about we about to do, it's really gonna go ham then.
Yeah. Where KG at?
I ain't telling no tales out of school, but hey, there's something in the works.
See what happened when KG not here? He had one job. He can't even hold us back. Now we out here just letting it go. We got the old hoes, maybe mixed up with some new hoes. Shoot, we may have some G.I. Joes.
No, I ain't with the G.I. Joes.
It's not what I heard.
It might not be what you heard.
Sam, we have nothing wrong or no issues with MeTV. It's a great public access. Well, I guess it's not public access. It's one of them channels you can get if you up there with one of them got there going, plug it in antennas and shit. Which I think now that's a whole bunch of BS. Remember, we're going to go, hey, we back. You about to get what you're going to get tonight. Remember back in the day, by back in the day, I mean like what, 10, 15 years ago, there was that whole press. You got to get your converter box. Get your converter box so you can go ahead and get all these free channels. We taking it off the airwaves. You ain't going to have no connection to it. Fast forward to now, get you a little antenna. You can't find none of them shits. Like it take you about 45 minutes to be able to pull in a channel that a converter box pulled up in 2 minutes. After it did all its converter box stuff. What the fuck is going on with that shit? It's a goddamn scam. I think the government got butthurt because of all this streaming stuff. So they decided to screw everybody over on the free channels But you know what? The one thing we do get, goddamn flood warnings and shit. You know, you blow up my phone with that. I'm cool with the Amber Alerts, but everything else got my phone beeping all crazy, something going on, aliens showing up. Y'all can do that. But the hell if I want to watch The Price is Right for free, nah, I got to stream that shit. It's a bullshit. Goddamn conspiracy. A CON eracy. That's all I'm saying. Sam, we ain't playing no damn. When was Hogan's last wrestling match? Was that with The Rock?
No.
Like real wrestling match?
No. Somebody just posted that on. Somebody just posted that on Instagram earlier, like a day or two ago. It was a tag team match, wasn't it? It was a tag team match somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did do. He came back with the red and yellow. What was that on a SmackDown? Was it on a
Something
SmackDown
like
or something?
Yeah. I forget who was in the match, but he did a tag. Yeah. He did a tag team match. That was his last. That was his last match.
But, Anthony, what's up? So let me ask you this: if we're gonna peel back the layers and really dig into it, we're gonna get into it like only we can, which will get us in trouble by a bunch of old shit. Anthony, god damn.
Anthony coming out the gate with it. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a goddamn paragraph. Well, hold on, we're gonna take a pause for the cause because we gotta do some reading and shit. To be honest, and this is in my Anthony's voice, so Anthony, I hope you sound really cool and suave, debonair, sexy and shit, and the women are all over you, especially the hoes in the beginning of the show. But either way, to be honest, I'm a Hogan. I'm assuming that's supposed to be fan, but I don't delude myself to think that he was a good guy backstage. He politics his way to the top. He took advantage of young guys by making them think they injured him. So that's a compactful statement right there of a couple things. So Suma, I want you to cover the backstage stuff. But one thing we talked about, Anthony, here at the show multiple times, and still to this day, even in this situation, I don't know Terry, but Hulk Hogan, the character, is still GOAT to me. Hulk Hogan, the character, shaped my life. From the lunch boxes to, like I said at the top of the show, well, I was already praying, but you know, the vitamins and the training, you know, that was part of it. In my head right this second, I'm hearing the Hulk Hogan cartoon theme song. I watched Thunder in Paradise just because of that. I watched Three Ninjas and Three Ninjas Kick Back and pretty much every other movie he was in, Suburban Commando, all that stuff. You know, rock and wrestling was right there with him. When you hear, you know, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, like, come on, man. You know, you immediately think like, oh gosh, what was that? I think it was WrestleMania 3. They had some iconic moments where they caught up with Hogan in a crowd, and you saw that the camera pan in, and as he was walking out, you know, then I hear Voodoo Child. Lord knows, you know, I love me some Hendrix, but I'm sorry. One good thing about Eric Bischoff is he made sure that when Voodoo Child was playing and Hogan was coming out, it was perfectly timed, especially as the pyro was going off. You hear that, NWO, and then, you know, everything's happening. Well, and then Michael Buffer at the same time.
There's a reason for that, but I won't go into it unless you want me to.
Well, but you know, so, you know, long story short, Hogan is Hulk Hogan, the character, just like Chris Benoit, the character, are arguably some of the best sports entertainers, some of the best professional wrestlers. And yes, Hogan could wrestle. I know Sumo could attest to it out in Japan when they actually let him, but he didn't need to. When the $1 billion machine is behind you with Vince McMahon, he didn't need to wrestle. He just needed to be the character. But man, that's some good stuff right there. Sumo, I want you to touch on going back to the backstage element about the politics, because I know you've seen a lot, especially in the indies and stuff like that, about, you know, Hogan as he was going through and taking advantage of young guys. But truthfully, I think that was par for the course of what his generation did. But I'll let you go ahead and talk on the backstage.
Well, there's a lot of politicking in the back, of course. more some than others. You know, you have the story of I'm sure a lot of people have heard Undertaker's story about what happened when he won the belt from Hogan for his first championship, and he gave Hogan the Tombstone Power Driver on the chair supplied by Ric Flair, and the whole that's where the "oh you got me brother" thing came from. His head never hit, and he went a whole week thinking that he was about to get fired or something was going to happen. Undertaker went a whole week thinking something's going to happen to him. He's going to get fired. He's going to whatever the case. When Shane McMahon came to him and was like, his head never hit. You know, his head never hit. And so when Undertaker approached Hulk Hogan about it, the following TV taping, he came to him and was like, you know, what's going on? How's your neck? And he was like, you know, he said, you made it seem like you were really hurt.
Right.
What's going on? And Hogan was like, dog, brother, you had me held so tight that my neck couldn't go anywhere. And so when you brought me down, my head didn't hit, but it was just my neck. And so Undertaker always said that he always thought of him in a negative light after that.
Yeah.
He never really respected him after that. Now, as far as politicking is concerned, I mean, yeah, he had creative control on a lot of things that went on. You know, something that's not going to work for me, or you know, I don't think it should be that way, or that's not what the people want, or whatever the case may be. Reason for him not to do a job for somebody, or a reason for him not to lose the title to somebody, or whatever somebody that he didn't want to wrestle. You know, it was more so him than anybody else. And then you also know about all the lies that he's told. You know,
yeah, he invented the Tesla, right?
All you know him. Now there's some that have been debunked. Like he was the first. He was supposed to get the George Foreman grill first. Eric Bischoff debunked that. He was supposed to. He was given to him first, and he turned it down. And but the same lawyer that gave that to him was also the lawyer for George Foreman. So it went to Foreman, and he wanted to do it. So that got debunked. Him being tapped to play for Metallica. George Hetfield said he never came to him about playing for Metallica.
Him or Corey Feldman.
So that's a lie. Him saying that he's never been on steroids. He said in open court that he was on steroids.
Right.
Now, and then not to mention him being the union buster.
Yep.
When
Jesse was pissed about that.
Jesse Ventura made up his mind that he wanted to try to bring a union into professional wrestling. Hogan found out about it and went straight to Vince and shut it all down. Had to shut all down.
Yeah. I am a real dry snitcher. That was extra dry snitching.
The one sport, and I will call it a sport. The one sport that actually would need to have insurance or some type of after career care that would be taken care of by a union, by having a union. And Hulk Hogan's going to shut it all down.
Yep. And think of all the GoFundMes now that they exist. Back then they didn't. How many wrestlers could have benefited in the past from a GoFundMe for the medical expenses, you know, when they got sick. Now it's almost a normalcy. You know, you see a GoFundMe for this person. You haven't thought about like, oh man, and you contribute to that just so that way they can survive. Where the union, for putting their bodies on the line for us, that would make sense.
Now,
but I will say this. Let me ask you, with that creative control, and we'll get into, we got some more comments because this is a hot button thing. And again, I don't want anybody to think that we are bad mouthing the character of Hulk Hogan.
Look, we play right now. We playing good guy, bad guy, and I don't mind
heavily
being
revered. For the
character. And I don't mind being the asshole here. Okay,
don't know Terry.
I'll be the asshole.
Don't know Terry.
I'm like this. This is my take on it. Okay, I didn't grow up watching WWF. Okay, I only knew about WWF by reading the magazines and Black Saturday.
Right.
Okay, Black Saturday was the first time I ever saw WWF television. Okay, and Hogan was never on those Saturday shows at all. He never showed up on those shows. Now, I didn't really start watching Hogan until like late 80s. I mean, I knew about Hogan, but I grew up in Mid-Atlantic. I grew up in the NWA territory.
Right.
And we didn't get WWE television. So just like, I'm going to choose sides. I chose East Coast over West Coast. I chose Biggie over Tupac. I chose Latifah over MC Light. I make choices. I choose sides. And
his
I sided with
will
NWA.
Be available at the end of the show, so you can whoop his ass.
I sided with NWA over WWF. Now, of course, I recognize all of the things that Hulk Hogan has done for this business. I do. I recognize what he did in the 80s to build wrestling back up and put it on the national stage like it has been. I understand and appreciate the heel turn, the NWO, and all that came from that, him revolutionizing wrestling and changing all that. I recognize everything that Hulk Hogan has done for this business.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea because Terry Bollea never said and did any of these things. He did everything in character as Hulk Hogan. It's very seldom that he came out as Terry Bollea. The only time he's come out as Terry Bollea is when he was in court under oath.
But can you blame him for that? Because you also have to think about the generation that you're talking about and the generation he's in. That's old school kayfabe. He's protecting the business. He's protecting the gimmick.
All the lies that he's told, all the politicking and whatnot. Yeah, that's the business.
Right.
That's the business. That's the business he was in.
That's the grain of salt. Just like also,
but that's still. But we have not even touched the elephant in the room. We haven't touched what.
But I don't want to get there. I don't want to get there yet.
The real reason everybody has got beef against him.
I'm trying to give late ass KG an opportunity. He out there eating dinner. I'm be late. If he was, doing the TV dinner or the pot pie or the whatever at the house, we'd be cool. He'd be on here like he normally is. But he out there having an extravaganza. He probably had, got that going Golden Corral or something, getting him an extra ice cream scoop. So I want to save a little bit for him because I know he's going to go in and he's going to be mad if he miss it. Because he's going to miss his opportunity.
But I'm just mentioning it. I'm just saying.
I know.
All of the things that we talking about.
It's just skirting around.
This is what wrestling is. But the truth of the matter.
Pun intended. Don't go there yet. But let me ask you this. Before we go there, like I said, some comments. So I'm going to make sure we get to the comments. But finishing up this portion of what Anthony put. Can you blame Hogan when it comes down to the creative control, if he was allowed to have creative control? Multiple people have said, hey, the Roman Reigns said it recently. People complaining about, oh, well, why can't I be in first class? Why don't you put in your contract? If Hogan asked for creative control and it got approved multiple times, can you blame him for exercising it? Him and Kevin Nash, I think, are the only two that really exercise some creative control at, the level of it changed the industry in some instances based off of their decision making. So can you blame him for that if he asked for it and they gave it to him?
No, I can't blame him for it. But
we cannot like the repercussions of it.
Yeah, think about a lot of the things that could have happened if Hogan had not had that creative control.
Yeah, you can start with Sting on that one, and then work your way backwards.
So I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. I mean,
but they gave it to him.
In the end, like you said, they gave it to him. It is what it is.
Imagine if we're going to tie this to something, because shit. While we're here, what if Bret Hart had creative control? The Montreal screw job couldn't happen. Because if he said, I'm not going to do the job, I'm going to drop it on Monday Night Raw. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because now he's got a lawsuit.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's good to it, it's bad to it. I mean, it's how you take, it's how you use it. It's how you take advantage of it and who you using it against.
Right. So, like I said, it's just pick your poison. But if you do it at the right time, it's smart to some people, and then other people, that's some bullshit. And why'd you do it? But you did touch on this. But like I said, we'll go through some quick comments here that were left while we were covering some things. Anthony feels like Hogan was a hypocrite. The prayers and the vitamins, you talked about it, but he took steroids. That's the gimmick, but everybody was pretty much on steroids, with the exception of a small few. And obviously, you could tell who was and who wasn't, but that was the times at that point. Matty Ice over here, gracing us with his presence, talking about how the loudest pop that he had in the live arena was when the first notes of Real America played and people just went crazy and became unglued. I've been there. There's very few pops in life as a wrestling fan that you could hear that rival that of The Rock coming out, prime, or Hogan coming out. Roman Reigns is in that rarefied air right now. We just saw that a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, it was last week, right? When he came out on SmackDown. Yeah. And returned back and what was it, Monday? Was it Monday? No, SmackDown, right? Yeah. So he returned and allowed pop. And your boy, if you want to talk about it, down in AAA, Dominic Mysterio got a loud pop. So what happened to AAA?
Well, apparently Dominic Mysterio came in with a hoodie and a mask on and jumped on El Hijo de Vikingo and has now put himself into a 4-way match for the AAA Mega Championship.
Now, isn't El Grande Americano in that one?
El Grande Americano is one of the 4.
2.0.
Yeah. Right. The Ludwig Kaiser variant.
And who else is in? I guess El Hijo is in it. And then who's the 4th? I can't remember.
I can't remember who the 4th one is.
It's escaping me. I just saw it not too long ago on socials, but I was like, oh man. But it slipped my mind.
See, this is why we need KG. KG ain't supposed to be looking up this kind of stuff.
I know, right? Fact checker. Yeah, I told you. Put the damn ice cream down and get your ass on the show. God daggone Golden Corral and shit. What kind of shit is this? Should they give the belt to Dominic? Is it right? Is it time? Make him a 2-time champ? No. Really?
Make him a 2-time champ or a 2-belt champ?
Because
he's not.
He's going to count it as 2-time.
He's never had the AAA championship.
I know, but
no, I don't see them giving it to him.
Would it be bad if they did?
It wouldn't be bad if they did.
Because if they're positioning him to be the technically, leader of the Judgment Day, where Finn is thinking he's making these power moves, and Dominic is really the one orchestrating, and they're going to out Finn, so that way we can get back the not the Fiend, the Demon. You got to give him some clout. So if he's now got 2 belts, that pushes him in that direction. If he loses one to AJ, he's still a champion. He can leverage something else or go somewhere else. He could drop the belt to AJ and get it back, and still be double champion. But at least he's got some clout.
It wouldn't hurt Dominic to go over to AAA.
No.
It wouldn't
Look at what Natty's doing.
Well, but Natty's been out of the picture in WWE for a while now, which is why she's doing what she's doing. I actually like the low-key legend gimmick that
exactly
she got going. I like this. I like this Natty Neidhart.
I do. Like her promos down there, I'm like, what the fuck was this shit all this whole time? Like, you want to go away and do it somewhere else?
You got to do it. You got to go away and do it somewhere else.
Because she can't do it where she live at.
Why not make it? Why not do it somewhere else?
Yeah, man. She was the last member of the Job Squad at this point. The boss talks about when the controversy came out. We're still trying to get there, trying to hold on for Golden Corral KG. But yeah, we're going to touch on it, BJ. But he does agree that, the Hogan character is legendary. Here's a good one. Our good old friend Jim Cornette. Anthony's asking, do you get a chance to hear or listen to any of Cornette's podcasts where he talks about Hogan throughout his career?
No, I saved my Cornette podcast for work.
Oh, okay.
So I don't listen to it just at home and just to be listening to it. I listen to it to drown out some of the people I have to deal with at work. But
I hear that. Yeah, mine is in passing.
But but I'm sure Cornette had a lot to say as far as that was concerned. So I can't wait to actually sit and listen to it. Probably tomorrow. So I'm ready to listen to that.
Now this is shocking that Sam is not aware of Hogan's scandals. He just hears how mostly KG talks bad about him. Again, who ain't here? See, this is what I'm talking about. He had one job. Had to fuck it up for everybody else. God damn it, Bobby. Matty Ice talks about he doesn't know where WWE would be without Hogan in the 80s. Absolutely agree. I mean, wrestling, period. There would be no AEW. There would be no Haku Machente for The Rock. There would be no Marine. John Cena wouldn't be at San Diego Comic-Con, and Hall H dressed as Peacemaker. That wouldn't happen. None of that would have happened. WCW would have folded way earlier than it did. None of that would have happened if WWE wouldn't be as global. It would probably have reverted back and lost the territories. And it would have been back the way it is. Sumo would be happy about that. If Hulk Hogan, say prayers, eat your vitamins, did not stick in Americana.
If Hulk Hogan had not been tapped by Vince McMahon to become his new superstar, his new focus, the NWA would probably still be in existence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not talking about under Billy Corgan.
No, I'm talking about what it was.
It would have never gone out of where it was.
Oh yeah,
there would have been no WCW.
And we'd be talking about Ric Flair as the greatest of all time at the Hogan level of transcending. Can you imagine if Flair would have been in movies? Because that I would say in that instance, that would have been the paradigm shift. Sting would be where Roman Reigns is, technically. Sting would have been in a lot more of the action movies and stuff. Flair probably could have played Bond. I know it may sound, like crazy, but just think about it. The charisma of the Nature Boy, the ability to talk, all he has to do is just, say his lines. No Hogan to fill those voids and take that, direction. And Flair's like, I ain't got time for that. He's just a pretty boy trying to play and do all this stuff. I'm over here being a real world's champion. Hogan's not there to do that. And they offered him big old Hollywood checks to Nate. Come on now. Dusty would have been a TV star, maybe. The hell with a Foreman grill. Would you have bought a Dusty Rhodes grill?
Hell yeah.
Could you imagine that? Look at what we got here. You put the burgers on the grill, just close it, daddy. And then you got some hard times that'll be forgiven because you got a grill. You know, that's a horrible Dusty Rhodes. But I would watch that infomercial more than I would watch all the Emeralds and everything else. But Hogan got the job. He was the guy. But to Manny's point, without that one character, without the red and the yellow, without the feather boa, without the Hulk up, the leg drop, the you know, without that, we would all be, our Saturday nights would be dedicated to the NBA, the NFL, or actually, possibly, we'd be talking UFC solely. Maybe the Saturday night
Actually, you probably wouldn't even be talking about UFC because UFC was pretty much based off of the wrestling model. Remember, in the beginning, UFC wasn't what it is now. UFC was pretty much UFC was pretty much a mishmash of different fighters from different types of fighting styles going up against each other. It was like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. So yeah, but it had a wrestling feel to it. You know, it was emulating wrestling.
True.
Which is why you had a lot of those wrestlers who came out of there and were in wrestling, like Dan the Beast Severn, former NWA World Champion.
Yeah, here's a couple lies that Hogan or Terry's put out there. You know, that he took credit for finding KO, or that, you know, he was being scouted by the Cincinnati Reds when it was really Macho Man. But, you know, Sam, you know, he was recently baptized, which I did see those videos. At the end of the day, it's, you know, if you make your peace between you and the Lord, that's all that matters, regardless of the court of public opinion. You know, you don't answer to the public when you get up to the pearly gates. So we don't matter.
I wonder how much they had to disinfect that pool whenever they got done with it. I hope they did it in a kiddie pool. That way they just tossed it when they got done.
No, it was a big pool. Matty Eyes thinks, you know, we are being fair. You know, we're trying to, you know, be balanced until KG gets his late ass on the call. Right there with you. The thumb wrestlers. Remember those? The was it Hogan, Macho, Steamboat had one.
Didn't Andre have one?
Yeah, Andre, and I think didn't they have
Piper
and Paul Orndorff. I think he had one.
Yeah, Orndorff probably had one.
Yeah, but you know what? Looking back at it, when we talk about the toy side of things, how annoying was it now, thinking about it, the models and the molds of each of the different characters, especially the ones with the straight arm out for the clothesline. It's like that's the only move this wrestler can do, because I can't pose them in any other way. There's, you know, only like 4 points of articulate, 5 arms up and down, legs up and down, head twist. They really shafted us on the toy front. Now these kids, you know, the fingers move. You know, the Jey Uso figure that I bought my son. I'm like, God dang, you know, you can move the foot up and down, and, you know, he can yeet and get all this stuff. I'm like, ain't this about a bitch? We got the stiff arm for real. You know, we got the stuff that if you threw it at somebody, you probably would put an eye out. Some good ass toys, though, I'll tell you. Even the knockoff ones that your parents will buy you, thinking they could get you the real WWE figure, and you got the, you know, the Rite Aid special, and it was, you know, he looked like Hulk Hogan, but he was called Wrestler Number 1 or some shit.
Bogan.
Heck yeah, and you pretended that was the Hulkster, goddammit. You know, getting some of your mom's clothes and stuff like that, cutting it up to give him a feather boa or whatever, you know. just good times. And that's, again, why we talk about the character of Terry, well, the character of Hogan versus the person of Terry, because you can't take, in my opinion, everything that was contributed to my life, just speaking for myself, when it comes down to wrestling. And I had, the luxury of, NWA, AWA, being able to see all that stuff. Not so much the Memphis side, but I knew about it. And then, up north with the WWF and WWF. But I can't see and go through all those things that changed my life when it came down to, watching Saturday morning cartoons and seeing Hulk Hogan or Mr. T and Hulk Hogan together, just merging two of my favorite people, or when Hulk Hogan went on live with Regis and Kathy Lee. And, I didn't even watch Regis and Kathy Lee, but if Hogan was on there, I want to see what he was going to talk about as he promoted SummerSlam or WrestleMania or whatever it was, Saturday Night's Main Event, whatever. Again, like I said, I watched Thunder in Paradise. Wasn't that bad of a show. Suburban Commando and all those other things I supported, having the lunch boxes and wanting the socks and the shirts and everything that you could get, just to show that then you were just a fan of these larger than life characters, to which you got beat up for. Wrestling's stupid, wrestling's fake, you get yelled at and scolded and mocked. Now, my mom is like, Roman Reigns was your daddy. I'm like, what the fuck? But just think about that. Roman Reigns is somebody she recognizes. It used to be The Rock, but she gave up on The Rock. So I guess she slept with Roman Reigns. But she's watching these things. Hey, she's sending me pictures of John Cena on Fallon. Like, hey, John Cena's on there. I'm like, thanks, Mom. I'm watching it. But now it's just so everywhere. But it's everywhere because of the character and, dare I say it, the genius of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Sam's talking about we should do a Viking funeral. Again, KG would probably put him on the Middle Passage. I don't know about a Viking funeral.
We don't need a Viking funeral. He already burning. It's all good.
So, it's a lot, man. I'd say y'all are really coming with the fire. Was it KG has been known to have be somewhere. Dragon Lee. Thank you, Sam.
Dragon Lee. Yeah, he is the Dragon Lee.
Yeah, good point on this. Anthony, forgot about Haku was in quite a few James Bond movies. He's popped up there. Oh God, the dirt sheets. WWE is going to shut down because of Hogan's death. They don't need it because Roman is there. Roman, as much as I acknowledge my tribal chief, we will never get to the heights of Americana that Hogan was able to get into. Dwayne, sorry, you're not there. You're big, but you're not there. Roman Reigns, you're the new GOAT, but you're not there. Hogan was just, that. Oh shit, yes. CM Punk would have, tried to bring these back multiple times, but those WWE ice cream bars with the characters on it, or superstars, and everybody wanted that Hogan one, and Roddy Piper. And then, Anthony with his last point that covers us up to all the comments. It's hard to separate the performer from the actual person, especially when they're old school and they're keeping and protecting the gimmick. But I think at this point, you can't look at Terry and not see Hulk Hogan. It's not like
exactly
Sting,
what I'm saying,
where you got the makeup, Sting without the makeup, old man Sting is like, I don't know who the hell this is. God dang, this guy 4 feet from the grave. Put that mask on, it's Sting. Two different things. But I think, Sumo, we've been going at it for 45 minutes and got that going. Golden Corral KG is not here. Sam's got to clarify really quick. He's saying what he meant was by saying the person from the performer is people believing that Hulk Hogan is actually, well, that Hulk Hogan, the actual person, believed what Terry was saying with all the. Well, we're getting there. We're about to let the dogs out. We can see. He's taking a sip. I'm gonna let Sumo go ahead and just get there. Let him talk on it. Let him speak on it. Let him spit. Let him share his perspective as a black person that has been around for a long goddamn time. So, resident old person, tell us the elephant in the room. And you can use as many expletive deleted as you would like.
I'm trying to be, as someone said earlier, I'm trying to be fair.
Don't be fair. Right? Let your nuts hang.
I mean, yes, like I said earlier, he has done a lot for this business. He's done a lot to keep this business going. He's done a lot to change the way we look at professional wrestling. But you can't separate Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan because he stayed in character pretty much his whole career. You never saw him out in the street or in interviews or anything as Terry Bollea. You saw him as Hulk Hogan. He was introduced as Hulk Hogan. He came out in Hulk Hogan gear and his persona. So for folks to be saying, well, yeah, he came from the kayfabe era and all this and that, and it was a different time he came up in. You can't give him that pass. I'm sorry. He said what he said. He said what he did what he did. Now, he went around and he did the press circuit, and he apologized and all this and that, whatever. Everybody, well, he apologized. He said he was sorry. No, he did. But then he turned around and then he did an interview in a locker room and he negated everything that he said to the press. He turned around and he said he turned around and said the exact opposite of what he said in the press. Yes, I am somewhat of a racist. You doggone right, you a racist. You can't take back what you said. You never apologized for it. You did apologize, but you took it back. So, how am I supposed to feel as a black man that is, or any black man that was a fan of yours? I was all right with Hogan. You know, like I said, I was an NWA guy, so I was more Dusty and Flair and whatnot. But for those that are black people, that were fans and grew up watching Hogan from the beginning of his WWF career, that saw him that was a fan of his and looked forward to seeing him coming through and listening for the music and waiting for the leg drop and the Hulk up and all that, you know. How are they supposed to feel? You know? And then you expect you got their kids coming out talking about, well, you shouldn't talk about him like that because he's dead now. We were talking about it before. What makes it different now? I mean, you got people that are going to express themselves. Black Twitter said it perfectly. He was who he was. And you said something earlier about Chris Benoit. You cannot compare Chris Benoit to Hulk Hogan. Chris Benoit killed people. Hulk Hogan at least didn't kill nobody. He might have killed some careers.
Allegedly.
He definitely killed some careers. But, you know, when it comes to comparing him to Chris Benoit, that's a little bit of a reach for me, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not not like comparison on the person. I'm just saying separating the character, just at its base level, the character from whatever the hell else was outside of that.
Yeah, but you can't do that. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, the man outside of the ring was a bad person.
Yeah, but if I go back and I watch,
and I don't care
WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 1, am I seeing racist or am I seeing red and yellow?
You're seeing a man.
I'm seeing Hulk Hogan, the character, come out.
You're seeing Hulk Hogan, the man, taking advantage of a situation that made him money. And what made him that money? What made him that money? Him tagging with Mr. T. If they thought they could do WrestleMania without Mr. T, he wouldn't have been there.
Or his
mom. They wanted to bring the TV aspect. They wanted to do something to make WrestleMania more than what they already had.
But isn't that the theme?
So what did they do? They found the biggest star that they could find that was willing and able to be in that spotlight.
But isn't that the archetype? Isn't that what WrestleMania is now? I'm sorry.
That's what it's always been.
Yeah,
that's what it's been from the beginning.
What do we expect Cardi B to do at SummerSlam? Shoot, I can't look at Glorilla without seeing her twerking or reimagining her twerking in front of Shawn Michaels. We got Black Eyes to Cody Rhodes. Now we got Jelly Roll, right? Wasn't it Jelly Roll? Yeah. Jelly Roll doing Sambo suplexes.
We're going into a whole nother subject now that's out there now.
No, I'm just saying, point counterpoint, taking advantage of the celebrity of Mr. T, but that's been the norm. They did it at WrestleMania 1. Cyndi Lauper, why not? Rocket Wrestling. That they've said it already. We wanted to tap into that market, and who better than Cyndi Lauper? Who better to pair with than Captain Lou Albano? Now Liberace, it's Madison Square Garden. I guess that's a given with that one. But outside of that, I don't know where you would link Liberace through. But I mean, that's just what they do.
But I'm talking about as far as
Ali Boo
using the popularity of a black person to build up your product, which is what they were doing.
But then
that's what they're doing.
That's pretty much black.
But it's pretty much what they're doing. But see, here's the thing. That's why I said you're going into another subject. It's already out there too, because there's also a criticism against the WWE where you have all of these wrestlers, these non-black wrestlers, who are emulating themselves as in black caricature, but you don't want an actual black wrestler doing the same thing. Like you got all these Samoans, and I got nothing against the Samoans, but all of them emulate black culture, but none of them claim to be black. But then you got your Kofi Kingstons and your Xavier Woods. You got your Street Profits. You got all these black male wrestlers who are out here being black on the mid card. You can't get the Street Profits on a pay-per-view.
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
Now you want to put them in a six-pack challenge, six-pack ladder match for tag championship. The original Nation of Domination was a black guy, a Puerto Rican, and a white guy.
That sounds like a joke.
And yeah, they gave them some shine when it was an all black faction. But what did they turn around and do? They added just to give them a little something extra. What did they do? They threw in Owen Hart.
Yep. But Owen got his card. Owen got his card. Rest in peace, Owen. Owen got his card. But on the flip side, remember Mizark Henry and the DX blackface. So,
right.
Yeah. But no, I understand what you're saying.
More than once.
I understand
Roddy Piper going out in blackface.
That was half and half. He was half and half.
Greg Valentine going around calling black wrestlers boy.
Well, yeah. Thank you.
Vince McMahon going around talking about my nigga.
Well, but if we go on there, we also got to talk about Booker T saying, "I'm coming for you, nigga." to Hulk Hogan. Oh man, I wish there could have been a counter promo to that one. That was perfect.
And you heard about what happened after that, right?
Yeah,
it's come out now that after that happened, Booker T thought something was going to happen. And who was it? Was it Shawn Michaels? It was somebody. He said, the story goes, a white wrestler, was in the locker room with Harlem Heat. And Vince came in. Came in.
Okay.
And the wrestler said, "Hey, so Vince, what do you think about Booker T calling you the N-word?" He said, "Well, I must be a good one."
That's about events right there. That's about events. That's interesting, though. That's the one line he didn't push up to.
You hear about all kinds. You hear about wrestlers. You hear stories from Coco Beware. Has told stories about what happened to him back in those days, as far as discrimination and being messed with, as far as being a black man in the business in the WWF. You've heard stories from Teddy Long about NWA and WCW and WWE. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's out there. And Hulk Hogan was a part of that.
I can tell you this, Sumo, and you're gonna see it in a second. But Sam, I believe, has been celibate from the Sideline Junkies, Wrestlemaniacs on Saturday night for so long, 3 weeks-ish, that he just exploded. And it's a doozy. But before we go to Sam's comment, Anthony had a question. Isn't the New Day just a caricature of black Pentecostal preachers? Excuse me.
Well, in the beginning, it was supposed to be, but they were supposed to be heels.
Right.
They were supposed to be heels doing that, almost like a cult-like situation. But they said that they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to go put it in that light, especially Big E, because Big E was brought up in a Christian family. His family, he had, I think, his father or his mother is a preacher.
Right.
So he didn't want to do that. So that's why they went the way that they did. But they were actually supposed to start out as heels.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Then they just slid in a unicorn, and the rest is history.
Right.
But here it is. Sam, yep, he went to 10 and then decided to go to 30. He took your joke and kicked it up a notch. A black guy, a Puerto Rican guy, and a white guy went to Hogan's funeral. The black guy had to wait outside. They made the Puerto Rican guy serve drinks, and the white guy went straight for the bologna sandwiches.
Only Sam.
Yep. I told you.
Only Sam.
He'd been celibate for 3 weeks and decided to just let it loose. He got it all over the drapes. God dang. At least bring a towel, Sam, next time we decide to drop one on us. And I do agree. They probably will cancel us. But to our credit, BJ said, let it go. I'm like, all right, well, shoot. Obviously, he ain't see what happened on Frozen. So we're about to put that work in.
Hey, we like I said, we working on something, so it don't make a difference.
That's right.
I'm being very what was it the kids used to say? I'm being very polite right now, very demure.
Oh man. Yeah, especially when there could be a place we could end up that has freedom of speech. Ain't that about a bitch? But here's an honest question from Anthony for you. Do you look at the Slick as a caricature of Black culture? I would say yes.
Yeah.
He was
Slick's character was, how can I put it? What's a good way to put it?
He was a pimp without the hose.
Now I wouldn't put him as a pimp.
He was almost there.
He was almost there, but he wasn't quite there. He was that uncle in the barbershop.
He was Dusty Rhodes if he was black and skinny.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put him there either. But he was that uncle that you would always go to that would let you get away with stuff or even help you do shit that you wasn't supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was the uncle that would always help, that would always give you the key to his house so you could bring the girl in to mess around with. That was Slick. Slick was Slick. Yeah, Don King. Yeah, he was more of a Don King like situation. Yeah, I would put that. That's a good analogy. I would give him Don King. Yeah.
So, if you're giving him Don King, do you think Slick could really hold his own in a promo battle against Bobby the Brain Heenan?
No. Slick was never a good promo, in my opinion. He was never a good promo.
I think he was good for like 30 seconds.
He was a good manager. He was a good manager, though.
Yeah, I think he was good for 30 seconds of the promo.
Right.
He had his 1-2 lines. He put in his Slick way.
He was good enough to be able to sell that match.
Right.
Which is good enough. But in a promo battle against like a Bobby Heenan or a Jimmy Cornette or even Paul Heyman.
No, you can't put it. You can't throw Paul out there. That's an assassination there.
No, I'm talking about Paul Heyman in like those days.
Oh, okay.
In his early days.
Okay, that's a little bit fair.
Paul Heyman was still a beast back then.
Yeah, they just didn't let him out yet.
I just got through yesterday watching a compilation of the Midnight Express versus the original Midnight Express.
Oh man,
they went through that whole year long. They did that whole year long storyline in like maybe an hour and a half on YouTube.
Wow.
Promos and like partial matches and whatnot. So yeah, they did another one with the Midnight Express and the Horsemen.
Mm.
That was like another hour and a half.
Man, you have to share that one.
Just to listen to those promos back then, it just brought back, because I was watching it as it happened.
Right.
And so, it was just memories of that, all that good rushing back, So but yeah, Slick was good for what he was.
I agree with that. And then this is a good point. To your credit, what you were saying, Slick is basically kind of like that old black guy Cedric the Entertainer played in the barbershop movies.
Right. Slick is the guy when you walk into an all black barbershop. He's the guy sitting over there beside the checkerboard, talking all the crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. He's the one that you know if you got a kid and you come in there to get his hair cut and he's sitting beside him and he talking all that stuff and you be like, man, my son right here. You see my son right here, right?
My bad player. My bad player. Don't worry about that young blood.
I'm trying to teach the boy something. I'm trying to teach him something.
That's right. He gonna need to know it. Your mama should have taught it to him. But I tell you what, this has been, I say we've had some moments in the past few years, even factoring in COVID, where it's like, man, this is some bullshit. But this, I guess we'll call it week and a half now. This has been some bullshit from the perspective of one generation, which we haven't had in quite some time. We had Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan. It's basically like something just popped up from hell and said, fuck you 80 kids.
Oh, and don't forget, you had Connie Francis.
Yeah.
Who was on television and been a real big singer back in the 50s and 60s. And you also had Chuck Mangione. For anybody that ever watched Family Guy, or no, not Family Guy, but King of the Hill, who knows who Chuck Mangione is. He's that trumpet player. You always hear he was a recurring character on King of the Hill all the time. And he would always play that one song that he was known for. So yeah, him too. So you can't forget about them two either.
Yeah. Hopefully we could get a respite. We need a break. Maybe a couple people from the 90s. Or we could roll back to some 70s. I don't know. But leave the 80s alone for a moment. God damn. We got Jesse back on Saturday night's main event. We need a little bit more of them, and some others.
Do we? Do we have Jesse back?
Oh man, Jesse's good.
I mean, there was some backlash.
Yeah, but Jesse's being Jesse. You can't hate on that. You wanted.
I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying that's
you, but you said the backlash. You said the backlash.
There is backlash.
I know, but I'm saying
you saw him cut his time back on the last Saturday night main event.
Yeah. You know what you got. You asked for Jesse the Body Ventura. You got Jesse the Body Ventura. It's not like you was going to mold him or get something else. You knew what you was getting when you promoted and used that to, again, you talked about using somebody. At least he was white, in this instance. But they used Jesse, his celebrity, to get people to watch because they wanted to know what Jesse was going to say with a live mic. Unlike CM Punk, who has pretty much, calmed down in reference to, pretty much he's just matured. CM Punk, that is, to where he's dressed up for media. He's taking the time. He's giving back. Same thing like Randy Orton. Ventura is Ventura. He's still protecting that gimmick. He's another one. Thought Hulk Hogan was bad. Can't separate the two. You can't separate the body from Jesse Ventura. That's the same goddamn person. Feather boa, glasses, whatever, jacket, no jacket. That's the same goddamn person. And the governor. So, I mean.
But they both stole their gimmick from superstar Billy Graham.
Of course. Of course. You got to give credit where credit is due to the archetype. They talk about breaking the mold. Well, if you're going to steal it from the mold that works. Same thing, Nature Boy Ric Flair. If you're going to get it, steal it from the mold that works. Dusty Rhodes, steal it from the mold that works. Just the way the game's played until somebody else is the new mold, and it'll get stolen from them. And this is where we'll wrap up because this is some utter bullshit. Can the WWE get away with doing a Godfather type character in today's wrestling? Fuck no.
No.
They can't do anything. They scared to even put attitude in something. But then again, neither can comedy without being heavily scrutinized and canceled. Unfortunately, in all its glory of being able to reach out and send a tweet X or Instagram page or even slide into a DM of your favorite celebrity, social media, it may be cool for that, but it's also fucked up the world because now the court of public opinion outweighs the court of due process. And all it takes is one lie and that lie to go viral. How do you come back from that? You running away from somebody beating on you, you lose your Marvel contract. Now they done shifted over and put a whole new character in. How do you come back from that? It can happen, but just somebody totally lied on you. Michael Irvin got video showing that you were good, but court of public opinion, screwed for years. And now, you go, come on back. You good. We can work something out. People have forgotten. But on the adverse, baby oil, it'll take about what? How long would you give it? Maybe 1 or 2 years, and everybody will forget about Diddy and baby oil, and he'll be out there dancing to people videos again. Possibly.
So if you had the power to bring Hulk Hogan back, or take away everything Diddy got against him, which one would you do?
That's fucked up.
I actually saw this. I saw this online. Somebody asked that question. Went to a party and asked people that same question.
I'd have to bring Hogan back.
Diddy, erasing everything Diddy did that he's been accused of, or bringing back Hulk Hogan. Which one would you do?
I'd have to bring back Hogan because at least he ain't kill anybody, allegedly. Have Jaguar Wright tell it. Ali is on his bill. So, yeah, I'd have to bring back the real American. What about you?
I'd probably have to let Diddy rot.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Freak offs. What the hell? That's your boy.
Don't put him on me.
You chose the East Coast. You ain't got Ice Cube over there freaking off.
I chose Biggie. I didn't choose Diddy.
Well, hey, they were together, weren't they? Take that. Biggie. Take that. Take that, bad boy for life. Biggie. Take that. Yeah, me and Puff. Yeah. That's your crew.
As the black delegation, I'm willing. As a member of the black delegation, I'm willing to make a trade.
Who you gonna take? You gonna trade Diddy for who? Chow Young Fat?
I don't know. I don't know. Make me an offer.
Oh man. Wait, the black delegation trades Sean Combs for Weird Al Yankovic.
No.
Hey, he did play Michael Jackson. Come on now. I'm fat, all that stuff. I mean, come on now. Can you imagine Weird Al if he got his black card?
No, I don't.
He'd be over there parodying Wu-Tang and everything.
No.
Like, oh man. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Eric B. Rakim? No, that's Weird Al. Like, what the hell? He'd be co-host of the Breakfast Club, all that shit. So I don't know. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and mothers and fuckers, we appreciate y'all being with us. It's been a power hour. Now, we got to let y'all go back to your regular lives because we want to go to the goddamn buffet that KG is at, that he hasn't been here all this time, eating up all the pig feet. all the hog maws, all the collard greens, and 18 servings of soft serve ice cream in the cups with the motherfucking caramel on top that he ain't trying to share because he said he was just going to be running late, not missing the whole goddamn show. Ain't this some shit? Where BJ at? BJ, I need you to make a phone call. At least tell him to give us a goddamn, can we get some leftovers or something like that? Can we get a to-go plate? That's all we're saying.
You keep everything in Golden Corral.
Oh, where you at? What buffet you want then? He ain't there. There's not a lot of buffets out there.
You can keep that Golden Corral.
But you want one of them all-you-can-eat Chinese spots?
Yeah, I take that instead.
All right, well, there you go.
Take me one of them Korean barbecue hot pot spots.
Okay, yeah, little imitation crab meat. We get it together. But either way, we appreciate it. Happy to be back. There'll be some more shit coming next week. Maybe KG will be here and he could tell us about, I don't know, what hell he was eating and what he was doing all this time. We gave him an hour and 17 goddamn minutes. So, but at the end of the day, we happy to be here. We didn't even change the damn background graphic. But that's okay. We still represent the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Make sure you check out Sunday Morning Rise, and you check out In the Passenger Seat with Gentleman Jack. You check out Matty Ice. You check out The Coach on Mondays following Matty Ice. We got some heavy hitters Tuesday Night Flight, Thursday Night Throwdown. Just hang out with us all week long and just, get what you need. We're going to give you what you want and what you need. And then after that, we're going to pull out so you don't get pregnant. At the end of the day, I'm the People's Choice Don Rodriguez.
He is the wrong one to talk about pull-out game.
I know that. Well, I said we.
The very wrong one. He had his pull-out game is non-existent.
That's right. They gave that to other people. Got that gene. They
can't even spell pull-out.
Heck no. Once you go in, you in. And when I come out, you pregnant. That's pretty much how that works.
He all about shooting the club up.
Exactly. Diversify your bonds, bitches.
Damn. Konnichiwa. I can't even get my bitch in.